Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! GX episode review. Every Friday, I will be reviewing an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX subbed. If you want to watch this episode, I do have it linked in the description, so feel free to head on down there, click it, and check it out. This is the first time I'm watching GX fully subbed. I've seen bits and pieces of the first few seasons, and of course all of Season 4 subbed, since Season 4 is only in Japanese. They never dubbed it. So, it's a good time for me to learn about the original characters, and I feel like it's a good time, it's a good chance for anyone who wanted to go back and watch the sub version to kind of go back and watch it with me. Hopefully there are a few of you guys that will do that and are doing it, and please feel free to always leave your thoughts down below. But general impressions of episode 2, we got our first taste of what the setting is going to be for a while in this show, which is Duel Academy, the students being split up, Slifer Reds, Obelisk Blues, Raw Yellows, not in that order. Obelisk Blues are the top of the pecking order, Slifer Red are the bottom. And general impressions, good episode. Usually I would start with sub versus dub, but there wasn't anything big in this episode that is in terms of changes. So there was nothing really to note. If any of you guys noted anything major, obviously with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I feel like especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the dialogue is a lot more not like punchline-y than the English dub. And what I mean by that is the English dub had a lot of corny one-liner jokes, and some were funny, and a lot of them kind of missed, but I feel like GX kind of takes that out, and they do have their own jokes, and there are some actually really funny jokes in this episode. There was one moment that I laughed pretty hard at, and it's when Judai and Sho, Jaden and Cyrus, go to their dorm, and they see Hayato. It's the first time they see Hayato or Chumlee in the dub, and Hayato turns to them, and they see the outline of the duel monster Des Koala in Hayato, which I thought was hilarious, and literally they get like creeped out because of how much he resembles that duel monster, and Hayato's just like, don't call me a Des Koala or whatever. So that scene got a laugh out loud for me. I really did enjoy that scene. But the episode overall, I really enjoyed the setting. I really enjoyed the setting of this episode and of this show. As someone who, obviously went to college and dormed, I've always wanted to go to a place like that. I mean, how awesome is this? It's an island that's literally made for dueling. I mean, I feel like it's every kid's fever dream, and this is the setting of this show, which is awesome. And the duelists are split again by 3 rankings, which I felt the rankings they never really made sense to me, and the main reason for that is Bastion, I know he entered from high school, and Hayato, I feel like they did a decent job of explaining that the Obelisk Blues are only people that have been in a certain program since middle school, but Bastion is a character who got the #1 grade on the written exam and dueled well. He beat his dueling instructor in the field test. Shouldn't he be Obelisk Blue? I feel like there's no excuse for him not to be Obelisk Blue, or does it automatically mean that you can't start in Obelisk Blue unless you've started since middle school? I feel like the ranking system is a little silly. Also, Judai being a Slifer Red, I'm sure he's there because of Kronos doesn't appear in this episode, but I'm sure he's there because Kronos was probably pissed at him. There's no reason that he should be a Slifer Red unless his written grades are the main reason. And the reason I say he shouldn't be a Slifer Red is because he beat an actual professor using his actual deck. And maybe he got lucky, and maybe the written grades, the test grades are the reason that he is Slifer Red. I just felt like the rankings for certain characters didn't make complete sense, but it is what it is. A minor gripe there, but we got introduced to Manjoume, to Chazz in this episode, formally. We got introduced to Asuka as well, which was great. Judai immediately goes to the dueling area. He has some bickering with Manjoume's henchmen, I guess you can call them, and I think the funniest thing about that was Manjoume at one point just goes, hey, you guys can shut up, this guy's better than both of you. And I'm just watching, and I'm like, aren't you guys supposed to be friends? And you're literally telling them to just shut up, and that this Slifer Red, this character that your 2 friends were saying shouldn't even be at this school, is better than both of you in dueling. Like, I thought that was just kind of funny and a little bit of, a dickish. But then again, Manjoume is a bit of an a-hole, so I thought that was funny, and it also shows that he's really only loyal to himself, right? He's not loyal to these 2 kids. They might be loyal to him, but he's got no loyalty to anyone. He's doing everything for himself, and he ends up dueling Judai later, and of course it's to put Judai down, and he makes a lot of insults towards him, but Judai's attitude this entire episode, he's a little stubborn, I will say that, but he's so carefree And he's so brave and bold, and I absolutely love. Another good joke that was made is Bastion walks past him in the beginning, and Bastion's just like, all right, I'll see you around number 1. I feel like you should be a little higher or not in Cypher Red. But Bastion actually refers to him as number 1. So that kind of shows that Bastion was being a good sport about the whole joke and everything, which I really appreciated, and that made me like Bastion's character a little more in the early going. But that's the last time we see Bastion. They have the inauguration dinner. Before I get into that, though, we do see Asuka, and I feel like the dub wasn't as bold in terms of, like, romance as the Japanese version is. Maybe it was. I might not be remembering correctly, but Asuka comes up and tells them that the dinner is starting, and then they leave, and Asuka tells Judai and Sho, like, not to provoke Manjoume and not to deal with his provocations. And Judai then says, man, you're, like, being really nice to us. Did you fall in love with me at first sight? Or he said something like that, and Asuka kind of laughed. She didn't really get, like, offended by it, or she didn't get, like, oh god, this is another, like, pig. I'm sure she gets, I mean, she's a very attractive woman, and based on Manjoume's reaction to her watching at the end when Manjoume was like, Asuka Tenjoin was watching me duel and he blushed, I'm sure she probably gets flirted with and hit on a lot. I mean, she's the queen of the Obelisk Dorm, and so she didn't really get taken aback by that at all. I feel like she found it kind of flattering. And Judai and Sho go to leave, and Judai then turns around and asks her what her name is. And Asuka seems a little surprised by that and says, I'm Asuka Tenjoin, and, Judai says, I'm Judai Yuki, and they leave. And Asuka is just kind of smiling, and clearly a little, I mean, you gotta say there's maybe a little bit of I don't want to say romantic feelings this early in the show, but there's something there. I mean, there is something there, and I always felt like when you look through the Yu-Gi-Ohs, where Aki and Yusei are maybe the top, I feel like Judai and Asuka were clearly a number 2 in terms of actual proof that romance was there, that there were feelings beyond platonic love and friendship. There was something more, especially, maybe not from Judai's side, but definitely from Asuka's side, and you can already see those feelings kind of brewing in that episode, even at the end when she goes and talks to Judai after the Manjoume duel, and she realizes that Judai would have won the duel had he used Monster Reborn. She's like, man, that kid is kind of interesting, and that's how the episode ends. So clearly she is enjoying this Judai character, and I'm interested to see that hopefully get expanded on going forward. Obviously, I know what happens and things that take place, but I'm trying to just review it as if I don't know what's going to happen in the future. And based on the preview, I think we are going to get a bit of an Asuka-focused episode next Friday when I review it, so that will be really cool. But I did like that whole dynamic, and geez, I feel bad for Sho. I don't even know how Sho made this Duel Academy, because Asuka walks in while Judai and Manjoume are illegally dueling. They're also using the Battle City ante, so if you lose, you give up your rarest card. And Asuka talks about the card effect that Manjoume played, where it's like, yeah, you destroy your own monster, but you take control of an opponent's monster. And Sho literally goes like, what does that mean? Like, he doesn't even know what that means. Like, that's such a basic thing. And I'm like, oh, this poor, sweet, innocent, blue-haired child. He has no idea what's going on. He should absolutely not be in this Duel Academy. And you do feel kind of bad for him. But he's here, and, in terms of confidence, he doesn't have a lot. Hayato doesn't have a lot. He claimed, Hayato Chumley said that no one ate in the Cypher Red banquet because they all are depressed that they know they're never going to make it. Basically, according to Hayato, if you're put in Cypher Red, you're expected to drop out because you have no hope. So Judai, when he hears that, I feel like that just motivates him a little more, honestly. Which that's when you hear something like that, you either get motivated by it or you just let it rot you until you do drop out. So again, I just love Judai's personality. In terms of his duel against Manjoume, it was an interesting duel. Manjoume did very well. Judai made some pretty sick plays at the end, and the duel gets interrupted because security is coming, and Asuka says, you have to leave. You could get expelled if the security catches you. Judai is stubborn. He doesn't want to leave, but Sho kind of carries him out and pushes him and, forces him to leave. It's funny because the way they do it, you don't know if Judai left because Judai's like, nope, I'm staying right here, even after Manjoume has left, being very stubborn, and the duel security walks in, and you feel like maybe he's still in the area, but he's not. They show the screen and the duel stage, and he's gone. He left. He went outside. And Asuka was like, how did you like your hazing from Obelisk Blue? And Judai's like, I wish it lasted a little longer. And then Asuka was like, why? You would have lost your rarest card. And Judai was like, no, I had that duel in the bag. And he did, because he had Monster Reborn. He would have revived Elemental Hero Flame Wingman. And that would have been the end of the duel. Judai actually would have beaten Manjoume, beaten someone who claims he is the #1 favorite to become the Duel King. Someone that his 2 henchmen earlier in the episode said everyone in the school believes Manjoume is going to become the next Duel King. So that immediately legitifies Judai in our eyes, and it legitifies Judai in Asuka's eyes, because Asuka realizes, oh crap, this Slifer Red, this, dropout boy, which Manjoume also referred to him as a dropout boy, so did Kronos in the first episode, actually would have beaten one of our, if not our best duelist in this academy. So that was very, very interesting, and of course, you would have liked to see Judai defeat Manjoume. It probably would have been just as satisfying, if not more satisfying, as him shockingly defeating Kronos, but we will have to wait for that, at least wait until they duel again, which hopefully will be soon. But anyway, guys, really enjoyed the episode. I thought Asuka's character was really good. I enjoyed Manjoume. I enjoyed Bastion early on. And the whole dynamic. I just love the setting of having a campus dedicated to dueling with dorm rooms and all these students. And, very excited to see more episodes going forward. But I'm also very excited to hear from all of you. Please leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. I will talk to you down below. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope you have an amazing day.